Welcome to Wonder Mom, where I share tips, thoughts, and tools to help you live a more productive life so you can focus on the things that really matter to you. In today's episode, I'm going to be looking at how you can increase your productivity and start getting things done. I used to create really long to-do lists and always feel like a complete failure when I reached the end of the day and I still hadn't gotten things done. I'd reach the end of the day and maybe one or two things were ticked off my list, but not the whole long list of things that I had. And I even tried reducing the number of items on my list, and that didn't really help. I still didn't manage to get through things every day, and I always felt like a failure. There was something that was missing in the way that I was approaching my productivity. So I wanted to share in this video 3 tips that will help you to be more productive and get things done. And tip number 1 is to identify just a few things, just a few actions that you want to achieve that day. I know this might be the hardest point of all, because especially if you're a busy woman like myself, you have a lot of things that need to be done every single day. But when I mentioned identifying just a few things, I'm referring to a few actions, like big actions, not like brush your teeth, put your clothes on and have a shower. Those hopefully should be in your regular routines, and hopefully you might have a rhythm to them already. But I'm talking about the outside of the normal action items that you want to get done. Just have a few. I use a planner page like this, a daily planner page, that helps me to just identify just a few priorities for the day, and those priorities are the things that I really want to get done. If I only achieve those few priorities, I know that my day has been a successful day, and it's such a relieving, it's such an uplifting feeling when you reach the end of the day and you've gotten your top priorities done. There might be some other things that you have on your to-do list, like we all have long to-do lists, but I know that if I've got my priorities done, everything else is just that's cake, that's gravy, as they say here in the UK. And so if I achieve those as well, that's an extra bonus, but that's not my focus. My focus for the day is in just a few things that are essential for me. So that's tip number 1. Just identify a few things that you really want to get done, and achieving those means that you're going to have a successful day. You can say at the end of the day, that was a good day because I got those 3 things attended to. Number 2 is, the second tip is to estimate the time it takes to do each task. So say, for example, I've written my 3 top priorities here. My next job is to give each task a time estimate. Is it going to be a 15-minute task? Is it going to be an hour-long task? And the reason why it's important to do this is because it'll come into our next point. But it's really important for us to know how long each task takes, because everything that we do is in time. Now, I realized back when I began making a long to-do list, the reason why I always felt like a failure is because I had these to-do lists that had tasks that would take maybe 72 hours, and I was trying to complete them in a 24-hour day. There was obviously something that wasn't matching up, and I couldn't see for the life of me why I couldn't get these things done. It was because all the tasks that I had to do were too long for the amount of time I was trying to squeeze them into. So it's important to give your task an estimate of time. You might not know exactly how long things are going to take, but if you can estimate that something's going to take half an hour or an hour, be on the generous side with yourself, just because, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or a work-at-home parent, you're going to probably have more distractions than somebody else who isn't surrounded by lots of little hungry distractions. So give yourself an estimate. You'll get better at estimating the time as well the more that you do this. That's number 2. And number 3, the third tip, is to block off time in your schedule to do those tasks. And this is what this section of the page is for. I've got a schedule here And I use the schedule to really block off chunks of time, like hour to 3 hours long of time where I know that I'm in a particular task or I'm doing a particular job, whether that is I've got a 3 hour chunk here for homeschooling my kids, or a 1 hour chunk here to send email, or whatever it is. If once I've got it scheduled, then I know it's going to get done. And this is a super important part, because once you've written your priorities for the day and you know that priority number 1 is going to take an hour, priority number 2 is going to take half an hour, and priority number 3 is going to take you 2 hours, you can look at your day, having put in any appointments that you've got, and you can see, well, where is it going to fit in my day? I like to write my to-do list for the day the night before, so in the evening I can see, oh, tomorrow I've got this going on, when am I going to do my top 3, and I can slot it in my day. Or I'll know that actually I won't be able to fit all 3 of my top 3, maybe I might only be able to do my top 2, but it helps me to know that I've done that and I've got the time to achieve that in my day, and I'll get to the end of the day and I would have completed the things that I wanted to get done because I put them in my schedule, or I blocked off that time for them so that I could achieve them. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll be sure to answer them. Remember to click like and hit subscribe so you get notified of future episodes from me. And until then, I'll see you next time for another episode of Wonder Mom Tips, Thoughts, and Tools.